India is divided in 5 physiographic or physical divisions. Coastal plains are one of those. There are two coastal plains in India. One, East Coast Plain along Bay of Bengal. The other, West Coast Plain along the Arabian Sea. Today, let us have a geographical study of the West Coast Plain. First, let us study its location, especially astronomical location. Astronomically, this extends from 8 degree 15 minute north latitude to 20 degree 22 minute north latitude. Its longitudinal extent is from 73 degree 40 minute east to 77 degree 30 minute east longitude. Now, its area, the West Coast Plain extends over 64,284 km square and its long south extent is 1,400 km from here to Kanyakumari, and its width varies from 10 to 80 km. Somewhere it is 80 km wide, somewhere very narrow, only 10 km. Its cause is here the tectonic activities and faulting of the Arabian bloc. Now let us study its location. In the West Coast Plain spreads in several states like Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Kerala, and some part of Tamil Nadu, especially Kanyakumari district. That's why it is written here Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and in Tamil Nadu it is Kanyakumari district where West Coast Plain extends. Now its subdivisions. West Coast Plain, like East Coast Plain, is also divided on the basis of the states and the language especially spoken in those regions. For example, here in north, this extends to the south of Daman and Dadar Nagar Haveli. Dadar Nagar Haveli is landlocked Indian Union Territory, and to its south starts Maharashtra state, and in Maharashtra state its name is the Maharashtra coast. Since their language Konkani is spoken, hence it is also termed Konkan coast, and its southern limit is the south limit of Goa. Goa state is also included in Maharashtra or Konkan coast because the geographical and physical features of Maharashtra and that of Goa resemble. To the south of Goa, it is Karnataka state. Hence, this part of coastal plain is named as Karnataka coast, or it is also named Kannada coast, and its name is Kanara coast also. Thus, it has three names: Karnataka coast, Kannada coast, and Kanara coast. To the south of Karnataka starts Kerala state. On the basis of the state name, it is termed Kerala coast, or it is on the basis of language Malayalam. It is also called Malabar coast. Then comes the Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu that has a coastal plain, but it is generally not separated, rather included with Malabar coast. Now, after the study of its three major subdivisions, that is Konkan coast, Karnataka coast and Kerala coast, let us study its boundaries. In the east, it is divided or demarcated by 150 meter contour line, and to west of that contour line it is coastal plain. As universally 150-meter contour line is taken as criteria to demarcate any type of plain, maybe depositional, fluvial depositional plain, that may be erosional plain. Thus, it is 150-meter contour line on the east, to the east of which starts West Ghat mountain, which are not included in the coastal plain. That's why you should be very much clear about the difference between the West Ghat mountain and West Coast plain. Now, its western boundary with Arabian Sea. Here the western boundary is the permanent coastline of Arabian Sea, to the east of which the coastal plain starts, which is depositional to some distance, but further east it is erosional. And here there are some beaches. As we know that beaches are, although the integral part of the continent are land, but since beaches are sometimes covered with water, hence that is not included in coastal plain, because on the coastal plains a number of cultural landscapes are developed, while not on beaches. Now, after its geographical demarcation, let us study its genesis. Due to faulting of Arabian bloc at the close of Eocene period, when during Eocene period Himalayas were originating from the Tethys Jewish incline, at the same time the western part of Indian plateau, that is Arabian bloc, was fractured due to tectonic forces, and caused this linear fracture caused Arabian bloc submerged, and due to that faulting the genesis of the west coast plain started, and ultimately due to faulting and submergence of Arabian bloc, a steep scarp along the West Ghat mountain was formed, which was eroded by the continuous waves from Arabian Sea caused by the southwest monsoon, and thus this west coast plain is largely erosional, while east coast plain is mostly depositional. Now, one important point is here, that Malabar uplifted coast. Malabar means here this Kerala coast is uplifted, because if we see on the map of India, here is river Kaveri flowing in Great Mayur Fault. The plateau land to the south of Great Mayur Fault was raised due to the tectonic force which was exerted from south to north. That's why Malabar coast is emerged, while these two coasts, Karnataka and Maharashtra, are submerged coast. Now, let us learn about its landform. There are mostly erosional landform and some are the depositional, but main topographic or geomorphic features are: number 1, sandy beaches, 30 to 91 meter high beaches, and plains of marine erosion. As we have discussed that this is marine process which has eroded the West Ghat mountain, the foot of West Ghat mountain, and deposited that coarse material in the form of beach, and the height of these beaches ranges from 30 meter to 91 meter. It very clearly shows that here this part is tectonically emerged. The second feature is coastal sand dunes found north of Kovalam. Kovalam is a beach 14 km south of Trivandrum. Here it is Trivandrum, and to its south it is Kovalam beach. In Kovalam beach there are coastal sand dunes. Sand dunes means these have been deposited not only by the fluvial process, rather aeolian process has some role to work in it. Generally, sand dunes are found in hot deserts due to aeolian process, but here, because this beach is depositional, there is some silt and clay, and the second point is that it is affected by the sea breeze and the land breeze. Hence, these sand dunes are developed here, and these are called terrace. Remember that there was a term terrace along the east coast plain, especially in Coromandel or Tamil Nadu plain, and that was terrace. It was also raised or emerged, and this is terrace found in Kerala. Now the third point is lagoons and backwater lakes like Vembanad due to double spit, and these are called kayals. Here along the west coast, as on the east coast, there is a sandy deposit, and it causes marine deposition, which are called spit. When two spits meet together, lagoon is formed, and sometimes in those lagoons tidal waves reach, but tidal waters, it is not withdrawn completely at the time of retreat. Vembanad Lake, situated in Kerala, is one of these lagoons. Thus, the west coast plain is characterized with lagoons and backwater lakes, and this Vembanad lake is double spit lake. These are called here in the west coast plain kayals. Now, fourth feature is estuary. Goa coast is deltaic. There are two rivers, Juari and Mandavi. It is well known fact that the west coast plain has a number of estuaries, while the east coast plain is characterized with a number of delta. Why is it so? It should be explained by you while writing the answer in commissions. Why eastern coastal plain is deltaic? Because most of the rivers draining from our plateau from northwest to southeast deposit a volume of voluminous sediment along the east coast plain. That's why delta are formed. Contrary to it, along the west coast plain, the escarp of the West Ghat mountain is very high, and the rivers flowing from east to west cut deep those escarps and join the rivers. Thus, there are steep, deep mouth of these rivers, and these are called estuary. At the same time, here the west coast plain has a number of estuaries. Contrary to it, the Goa coast is deltaic. In Goa, there are two very important rivers, Mandavi and Juari, which form delta. That's why west coast plain is also called deltaic coast, and these are especially termed estuarine delta, means the characteristic of both. Next point is mud flats along the west coast plain. When the rainwater flows from east to west along a steep slope along the coastline, that material is deposited, which is in the form of mud flats along the coastline. Next is residual hills like South Konkan Hill in Maharashtra. As we have discussed that from southwest the marine waves of Arabian Sea cut this West Ghat, the foothill of the West Ghat mountain. Some soft rocks have been eroded, but the left hard rocks are in the form of hill, especially in Maharashtra state. there is a hill named Konkan Hill, and these are of Archean and Dharwadian structure, very old rock. And next is lateritic platform. Here, why laterite will be found? It has been also discussed that although laterite develops in equatorial region where there is high temperature and high rainfall, but in India at present there is no equatorial climate. Then how you can explain the laterite here in the west part of India? It can be explained only by positioning this Indian plateau at equator in geological past, and at that time the laterization worked, and the characteristics of laterite soil are found here, and lateritic structure or platform which are found along the west coast plain. There are the two erosional surfaces eroded by the Arabian waves, and that is of lateritic nature. Number one is about 76 meter high to the west of the coastal plain. Two is 183 meter high in the eastern part. Next point is the sandy spits are deposits by marine waves found generally to the north of Vaitarna river. There is a small river Vaitarna, sometimes written Vaitarni, in the Maharashtra, and to its north it is sandy spit, which is a main topographical features. Now, very important thing to discuss about this lateritic platform is here in this model. This is Arabian Sea. If you start moving from the coast of the Arabian Sea eastward, you will have to step up in several stairs. There are generally 3 stairs, and if you from the coastline move eastward, after crossing the 3 levels or steps, you will climb up on the Western Ghat mountain. Which are these 3? Number 1, from the coastline, first is 30 meter high depositional plain. As we have discussed that most part of west coast plain is although erosional, but the westernmost part is depositional. Again, if you move eastward, you will climb up to the height of 61 meter, and it is erosional platform which has been eroded by the rivers and especially the summer monsoon rain. And if you move ahead eastward, it is 91 meter to 305 meter high land which is made up of Archean rocks. Thus, these are the 3 steps, and after that you will reach here the West Ghat mountain. Thus, topographically, the west coast plain is of varied nature, and structurally, if you see, this contains the different period rocks from Archean to Holocene, means latest sandy and clay deposits. These are the salient features of its topography and micro landform. Now, let us see this map. Some informations are there which are of most geographical use, because the coastal plain are densely inhabited. These have a number of ports, number of religious spots, and a number of beaches attracting worldwide tourists. Thus, let us have a glance on it from south to north. It is the southernmost point of India, that is Cape Comorin, and Cape Comorin has also is a tourist spot. To its north, it is Kovalam beach located in Kerala. It is also very important. Then comes Trivandrum, capital of Kerala state. To its north, it is Quillan, Aleppi. These are the districts. Sometimes in competitions, the districts to arrange from south to north in Kerala or other states are asked. That's why you will see these locations and especially districts of Kerala from your map. Next is Lake Vembanad that we have studied. It is double spit lake now declared wetland and its water is being managed. It is also navigable. It is river Periyar which drains into it. Now to its north it is Calicut, very important port, and it was in the past famous. And then it is Mahe, the district of Pondicherry. As we know that Pondicherry is here located in Tamil Nadu, which has three districts. One is Mahe is in Kerala, Karaikal in Tamil Nadu, and Yanam in Andhra Pradesh. Now to its north it is the Kannanur districts of Kerala, and again moving north it is river Netravati, which nearly demarcates the boundary between the Kerala or Malabar coast and the Karnataka. At the mouth of this Mangalore port is located, and then to its north starts Karnataka Kanara coast, and in it river Saravati is very important, draining into Arabian Sea. On Saravati there is the highest waterfall, tourist spot and ideal station in India, that is Gersopa or Jog waterfall, and to its north there is Karwar. Karwar is also very important scientific station because Kaiga Atomic Research Center is located in Karwar. It is not Dharwar. Just to its east it is Dharwar, and Dharwarian structures are very important, and Archean, Dharwarian and Kudapa structures are famous in the geological study of India. So, but this Dharwar is not in plain, west coast plain, rather it is located on the West Ghat mountain part of Indian plateau, and to the north of this Karwar it is Panaji, capital of Goa, and here it is river Kali Nadi in Karnataka. To its north in Goa there are two very important rivers, Mandavi and Juari, and along Juari the Juari fertilizer plant has been established. Again moving north it is Belgaum. Belgaum is located in Karnataka, and to its north it is Kolhapur in Maharashtra. But remember that these locations like Nasik, Pune, Kolhapur, Belgaum, Dharwad, Bangalore, these located on the lines are nearly located on the West Ghat mountain plateau land, not on the west coast plain, and this is the Maharashtra or Konkan coast, and here there are different districts like Ratnagiri and others, and next you reached at Bombay, Thane, and then comes Dadar and Nagar Haveli Union Territory of India, which are landlocked. You will see this very clearly, and then again starts Gujarat. Between the Gujarat and Maharashtra, Dadar Nagar Haveli is located, and here it is now Gujarat plain, which is not included in the west coast plain. If you see the southernmost boundary of this west coast plain, it is the point Cape Comorin. If you locate the northernmost boundary here, it is Gujarat state, Maharashtra state boundary, but geographically river Tapti is the northernmost boundary or point because Tapti flows in a fault, and this is a fault line to the south of Tapti that suddenly turns south, and here the West Ghat mountain or Gavilgarh mountain starts. It means just on the northern margin of this West Ghat mountain there are hills, and the southern part is called West Ghat mountain or Sahyadri, but its eastward extension is also written Sahyadri on the maps, but it is here locally called Gavilgarh. Thus it is the northernmost boundary of the west coast plain, and the Gujarat plain is not included in this west coast plain because Gujarat plain is submerged, as well as most character of it is depositional, while the character of west coast plain is erosional. Thus, this is the map of west coast plain. If this map and these informations are in your mind, then you can write about the population density, settlements, transport network, and urban development of this area, as well as tourist and religious spots. Now, this map will also help you in the study of agriculture, agroclimatic regional planning, and regional planning of this part of India.